My beloved child, stop right where you are. Do not scroll. Do not let distractions steal this moment. I am speaking to you now. And these words are not random, not accidental, not delayed by chance. Dear child, you did well on my test. You put up with things you didn't understand. You didn't give up when you were weak. You stayed true even when there was silence around you. Finally, I can say without any doubt or mystery that you passed. Do not wait. Don't think about whether this is really for you or not. Your reward has been sent. As planned, I brought you to this very moment. I set up this meeting before you woke up today. Before your worries tried to speak louder than my promises and before your thoughts formed. This is not a mistake. This is an appointment from God. I had to break up your day because I don't want you to miss what I'm bringing into your life. You've been asking me in a whisper, sometimes with tears in your eyes, sometimes out of anger, and sometimes with just enough faith to whisper my name. Have I done enough, Lord? Have I been through enough? Have I shown what I can do? Now I'll give you my honest answer. Yes, you have shown that you have a heart. You have shown this that you are loyal. You showed that you didn't want to leave me even when things didn't make sense. Pay close attention. Someone to help you has already been sent down from heaven. I didn't wait until you were perfect. I didn't wait for you to be ready. As soon as your endurance was at its peak, I gave the order. There was movement in the unseen. The doors began to line up. Changes were made to conversations you don't know about yet. Someone has been sent to help you, so you need to be careful. You need to be ready to open right away when the chance comes up. You will have to wait longer for your blessing if you ignore this moment. Not because I take it back, but because doubt slows down what obedience speeds up. I want you to trust me right away. I want you to see that what you prayed for is now closer than you think. I'm going to tell you what you went through and why I let it happen in a moment. Follow me. Don't turn away. What you are about to learn will alter how you see the whole hard time you are going through. You were confused about the long silence after each door closed. You asked why they did that. You felt squished in places that used to feel good. You asked some people why they left. Why some chances went away and the path seemed to get narrower instead of wider. You were being tested in ways you didn't understand. My child, you meant for the test to be about how well you did. It wasn't. You thought the test was about how strong you were. It wasn't. It was a heart test. Would you stay after the fun was over? Would you believe me if I didn't tell you what was going on? You could be honest even if no one was looking. Would you say no to anger when betrayal tried to take hold? I carefully watched you, not to judge you, but to see how you changed. Every tear you shed alone was caught on tape. It counted every time you were about to give up, but chose to pray instead. You hid your pride the whole time. Every time you forgot to forgive, even when it hurt a lot. Every choice you made to leave something that tempted you but would have made you weaker. I saw everything. You felt alone, but God was watching over you. And heaven was seeing how hard you were working. The enemy thought that you would give up when things got tough. He thought that being alone would make you doubt him. He thought that waiting would make you angry. You didn't break, though. You swayed, but didn't break. You asked a question, but you didn't swear at me. Even though you were tired, you didn't give up on your faith completely. You still reached out to me even when your worship and prayers were weak. That's why I can say with authority that you passed. There was no punishment in the silence. It was getting ready. In secret, I was making you stronger. I got rid of dependencies that you didn't even know you had. I was teaching you how to hear my voice without needing to be reassured all the time. I got rid of my pride, my fear, and my need for other people to approve of me. I was making your spirit stronger so the blessing wouldn't be too much for you when it came. Make sure you understand this. Rewarding without first preparing hurts. A lot of people want what you're about to get, but they couldn't handle its weight. I waited not to turn you down, but to keep you safe. I let the fire not hurt you, but make you stronger. In the same way that heat cleans gold. Waiting made your character clean. What's left is now stronger, clearer, and more focused. Yes, God is my rock of hope. Being faithful is enough to show Him that you are worthy if He keeps you steady through life's waves. It would have been easier for you to leave if you had stayed. You prayed, but nothing seemed to get better. Even when things tried to make your heart hard, you kept it soft. In small unseen ways, you chose to obey. In my kingdom, being worthy is not about how well you do. It's about not giving up. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site. You are entering a community of like-minded believers. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give and it will be given to you is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose. Join the conversation and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today. Join our community and see what God brings back into your life. Now, the helper I'm sending won't show up as a mess in a show. Pay attention. It could be a conversation, an idea, a message you didn't expect, or a chance that seems almost too easy. It might seem like a person I put in your way on purpose. It might come as sudden clarity that takes the place of confusion. When it comes, open it right away. Do not think too much. Do not think about it too much. Do not let your fear pass for caution. The enemy will try to whisper one last time. He'll say, "This isn't real. You don't need this. You're making it up." Throw that lie out. I'm here to help you because you asked me to. There is movement because you asked for it. I told everyone in heaven your name because you asked me to remember you. Your reward is more than just stuff. Peace is what keeps your mind steady. It's fixing things that you thought were broken for good. It's confidence where there used to be fear. It is speeding up where there was once stillness. What you prayed for behind closed doors is now coming true in ways you didn't expect. Don't keep holding on to old fears that will keep you from getting your blessing. Do not hurt what I am building by going back to bad habits that I helped you break. At this point, you need to be brave. It needs surrender. It needs trust right away. You move when I tell you to. When I tell you to let go, you do. You open when I say so. There is already a change going on around you. You might not be able to see it all yet, but you can feel it in your spirit. Being aware that something is shifting is who I am. I am putting you in a holy crossroads. What you decide next is very important. Pick trust. Choose to obey. Have faith instead of doubt. Dear child, you did well on my test. It's not that you never had problems, but that you wouldn't let those problems define you. I'm happy for you that you kept going. I'm proud of you. I appreciate how loyal you are. Let me hand you what I've made. Let your heart open. Let your hands go. When I knock on your door, please open it. Your helper is coming. The season is changing for you. Here is your reward. Don't wait any longer. Please get closer and pay close attention, my beloved child. What I am about to say will change how you see everything you have just been through. You thought you were just getting through a tough time. You thought you were going through random problems, delays that no one could explain, and eerie silence. But there was more going on than you could see. Everything around you was a test, and you had no idea you were taking it. You were confused about the long silence. It seemed like my voice had grown farther away while you prayed and waited. You looked for signs so you could feel safe and quick answers. But there was no sound at all. That silence wasn't a sign of weakness. That silence wasn't a sign of anger. It was holy. I let it be quiet because I wanted to see what your faith would do when it wasn't being pushed all the time. Would you trust me if you couldn't find me? Would you stay steady even if you couldn't feel me? It wasn't empty during the silent season. The test was given. You asked what was taking so long with your prayers. You begged me for things to change, for things to get better, for relief. And when things didn't move as fast as you had hoped, doubt started to take hold. You asked me if I was paying attention. You thought about what you might have done wrong. But wait is not denial, my child. Yes, I was hearing your voice. I was testing how long you could last. I wanted to know if your loyalty was based on getting things done quickly or on trust. That's why I asked, would you keep praying even if the answers didn't come right away? You tried to open doors, but they wouldn't let you in. You were in front of chances that suddenly disappeared for no reason. Things didn't go as planned after you planned them. Your heart filled with anger every time a door shut. You asked me why I would let hope rise only to let it fall. But those locked doors were not a punishment. They kept us safe. Some doors shut because the things that were there weren't strong enough to hold the future I have planned for you. Some doors shut because I first worked to make you stronger. Some doors shut because I was watching how you would act when things didn't go as planned. This was a secret test of spirituality. Not one that was written down or made public, but one that was carefully watched from beyond the visible realm. Heaven looked on. The enemy was looking at us. Things like your actions, words, thoughts, and choices in quiet times were being watched. It was like you were being refined, shaped, and weighed while you thought you were just going through life. Please help our channel. We're here to bring you happiness and encourage you to follow God. You can donate to us through Super Thanks. If you want to help, the enemy paid close attention to how long you lasted. He thought that stress would destroy you. He told you lies in your ear. Like I forgot about you. Your faith was pointless and your waiting was silly. He looked at the weak spots in you. He heard you cry and watched. He hoped that you would turn away from me because you were tired. He tried to get you to believe that giving up would be easier than keeping going. You didn't give up completely, though. You didn't give up all your faith even when it felt weak. You had to show how patient you are. When you really needed answers right away, you learned to wait. You didn't move forward when everyone else around you seemed to be doing so. It wasn't simple. Compare and contrast tried to break up your peace. Your spirit tried to get angry by being impatient. You held on longer than you thought you could, though. That waiting did not go to waste. It was making your roots stronger. Your loyalty was put to the test. Would you stay with me even if I didn't solve all of your problems? Should things stay the same? Would you still say my name? There were times when you wanted to pull away. There were times when you were tired of hoping, but you kept going. No matter how short your prayers or how quiet your worship became, you did not leave completely. Your love for them wasn't perfect, but it was real. You were tested on how well you obey. When I told you to let go of something you did, I pushed you to take a step back from faces and habits that were too familiar. I told you to be honest, even though it would have been easier to give in. No one was happy with those choices. You didn't get any praise. But I saw every time someone obeyed. You passed the test every time you picked the harder right over the easier wrong. You had to show humility. There were times when pride tried to hold out. There were times when you needed to argue, show your worth, or demand attention. But you got over your pride. You let me fight battles that you wanted to take care of yourself. You didn't say anything back instead of getting even. You chose to give up instead of taking charge. Being humble changed you in ways you can't see yet. Heaven heard every private tear you shed. It was written down that every night you lay awake wondering how much longer you could handle. Every quiet breakdown in your car and every quiet prayer you say to your pillow. I saw every moment you felt like no one else was seeing you. Every tear was used up. Not a single sigh was missed. I got them as proof of how hard you worked. You thought you were just about making it. You thought all you were doing was getting through each day. It made you feel weak, tired, and uncertain. You were trying to stay alive, but you were actually passing. Every time you didn't give in to anger, you got through it. You passed every time you let go of something that hurt you. You passed every time you were kind. Even when you were tired, each time you put a little more trust in me than you were afraid, you passed. No matter how bad you were, you could still pass. You were supposed to stay, so you did. You came back even when you tripped. When you had doubts, you prayed again. You didn't completely leave me. Even when you asked me questions, you have no idea how much that persistence meant to me. While I watched with pride, I kept quiet. I wasn't far away. I paid attention. I saw how much you grew. I saw how your character changed when things got tough. I saw you pick faith over hopelessness more times than you know. And my heart was happy. There were times when I wanted to answer right away. There were times when I could have ended the fight right away. However, if I had, you would not have become as strong as you are now. You would not have learned how strong your endurance really is. For short-term comfort, you would not have learned to lean on me. The quiet season showed you what you really were. It helped you see where your trust was strong and where it needed more work. Hidden fears were brought to light so that they could be healed. It showed attachments that needed to be let go of. It took your prayer life beyond simple requests. It taught you to value my presence more than getting things done quickly. You weren't being ignored. You were getting ready. You were changed by the delay. You were led by the closed doors. The peace and quiet made you stronger. The test was not meant to fail you, but to make you better. You're stronger now than you were before. You are more patient than you used to be, even if you don't fully understand it. You can make better decisions now than you could before. It takes more humility from you. Your faith is calmer, but stronger. You were not destroyed by the fire. It made you better. Please fully understand this, my beloved child. You were never just barely getting by. You were enduring with the grace I gave you. You were passing a test that made you ready for the next part. You were showing that your heart could handle more authority, more responsibility, and more blessing. While I watched with pride, I kept quiet. I could see you struggling. I saw you cry. I saw how calm you were. I saw your bravery in small ways that I couldn't see. We are now moving into a different exam season. What you learned in silence will help you with what I'm about to tell you. You did well on the test you didn't know you were taking. And because you stuck it out, what comes next won't be too much for you. It will meet a heart that has been made stronger, refined, and shown to be loyal. Now, my dear child, let me tell you why the test was important. The reason I let the fire burn longer than you asked. Why I didn't take off the pressure right away when you begged me to. You saw the trouble, but you didn't see the point. Even though you could feel the heat, you didn't know what was happening inside you. Nothing that happened to you was random. There was no waste. Every moment was a part of getting better. Comfort doesn't lead to refinement. Cool air does not clean gold. It is put in the fire. The heat brings out what doesn't belong. The impurities float to the top and are taken away. Without fire, gold stays mixed with things that make it less strong. For the same reason, I let you walk through fire. That what was hidden inside you could be shown and cleaned up, not to shame or punish you, but to make you stronger. Some of the pride needed to be tamed. Not the kind of pride that brags in public, but the kind that thinks you can handle everything by yourself. You carried your load in silence because you thought you had to be strong without relying on me too much. You thought that hard work was enough to make things better. So, I let things happen that were stronger than you. I let times happen when your plans didn't work out. You lost control of some situations because I let them happen. Not to make you feel bad, but to teach you how to depend on me. There was fear hiding behind your confidence. There is fear of failing, being turned down and not being good enough. So long as things went as planned, that fear stayed hidden. But that fear came back when you faced uncertainty in your life. You were feeling open. You were scared and weak. You doubted your ability to keep going. The fire showed me that fear so I could start getting rid of it, because the future I've planned for you can't be carried by someone who is scared. I had to show you how to be brave in secret. There was also a need to be gently broken from relying on other people. It was important to you that other people liked, supported, and approved of what you did. It made you feel better to know that someone was always there to comfort you. What does it mean when people leave? What happens when no one speaks? I let some relationships change so you could learn that you need to build your life on me first. People can be helpful, but they are not your source. I'm your source. Tell Jesus if you've given him everything. My life is yours. Attachments held on to you tighter than you thought. It felt safe to do some things because they were old habits, because they were predictable. Some patterns made me feel safe. To be sure though, familiarity isn't always fate. I had to cut ties with you that were holding you back to a smaller version of yourself. When those connections came loose, it hurt. It felt like a loss, but it was really freedom. You can't start a new season while still holding on to the old one's pieces. I was teaching you how to make spiritual decisions through the fire. Before this season, you often believed what people said. You believed what seemed good without trying to understand it better. But when things went wrong or people did things you didn't expect them to do, your eyes started to open. You began to ask me for more information. You started to pay more attention. You could tell when something wasn't going along with my will. Being aware of things is not easy to learn. It grows through experience and letting go. In secret, strength was being built up. It's not the kind of strength that gets people to cheer, but the kind that keeps your soul stable. This made you feel weak because you cried more. Because you felt a lot, you thought you were weak. But real strength isn't having any feelings. It is the choice to stay faithful no matter how you feel. Each tear wasn't a sign of weakness. It showed that you were thinking about transformation. Fire doesn't make gold less valuable. It gets cleaner. It's not broken by the heat. It shows what its real shape is. In the same way, the stress you were under was showing who you really were. You found strength in yourself that you didn't know you had. You were surprised by how patient you were. You learned how to sit with uncertainty without giving up. You learned to believe my voice more than the other noises. Really understand this. Rewarding without first preparing hurts. You would have become too proud if I had given you instant success without any work to improve it. Chance would have been more important to you than me if I had opened all the doors quickly. You would have stayed spiritually shallow if I had taken away all of your problems. Right away. When you're not mature, blessings turn into burdens. When you have power without humility, you will fail. Influence without wisdom leads to destruction. I took longer to protect you. That's very clear. I took longer to protect you. Yes, I saw what you asked for. I knew it was going to happen, but I also saw what you needed to work on inside first. The delay was a kindness. The quiet was a safe place. The fire was a warm-up. I'd rather stretch you alone than see you fall apart in front of everyone. There were times when you didn't know I was fighting for you. You almost went down some paths that would have made you confused and sad. Some chances looked great on the surface, but were actually traps. By closing some doors, I stopped damage that you might not have been able to easily fix. By letting you wait, I kept you from rushing into things that weren't ready for you. You asked me why I didn't answer right away. This is my answer. I can't give you something you can't handle because I love you too much. If you give a blessing too soon, it could turn into a curse. If you get a platform too soon, it can crush your spirit. When you're not ready, getting into a relationship can really hurt your heart. Time isn't just about what you want. It's about being ready. The fire also showed you what's important to you. It's also simple to say, I trust you. But when things get hard, your true priorities become clear. You found out if you valued my presence more than getting things done quickly. You found out if your faith was based on commitment or ease of use. That revelation was important. You didn't even know those layers were there until I took them off. A lot of insecurity hidden by success. A lot of comparisons that are hidden behind ambition. Layers of subtle anger that grew when things didn't go as planned in life. Fire makes clear. Fire makes clean. Fire gets ready. You're not the same person you were before this season started. Your spirit is steadier, though you might not fully understand it yet. Your need for me is stronger. You can see things more clearly now. You're more humble now. Your ability to wait has grown. It's not a mistake. That is getting better. Gold shines in a different way when it comes out of fire. It has a strength and purity that we couldn't see before. For the same reason, what I'm about to give you will meet a heart that has been refined. You'll do something different now. You will take good care of it. It won't become an important part of who you are. It won't be able to take my place as your source. I took longer to protect you. I waited to make you stronger. I waited to improve you. When you think back, you can see that what seemed like loss helped you grow. What felt like abandonment was really just getting in line. There was no delay. It was just perfect timing. The test was needed because the blessing only goes to adults who are mature to keep the promise. Stability is needed for the next level. You need depth. I don't build on shaky ground. I first made them stronger. My dear child, the fire didn't kill you. It made you clean. You are now stronger, more humble, smarter, and more stable than you were before. You were not being turned down. You were getting ready. And because you made it through the refining, you are now ready to receive what would have scared you before. I took longer to protect you. And soon you'll fully understand why the timing was just right. Now, my dear child, pay close attention as I speak truth into your life. This is the time to break the lies you've been telling yourself about yourself. You're not sure how valuable you are. You've been wondering if you're good enough. You've thought about your flaws, your weaknesses, and the times when you had doubts. Did I really pass? You asked yourself briefly. Do I really deserve it? And I give you a clear and authoritative answer. You proved your worth not by being perfect, but by not giving up. That wasn't something I asked you to do. I never said you had to be able to walk without stumbling. I didn't think you'd be able to handle stress without shaking. I was looking for strength. I was looking to see if you would stay when it seemed easier to leave. You stayed even though your steps were slow. Even when you didn't have much faith, even when your prayers were full of tears and doubt, you stayed. Some people left, you saw it. People who used to stand next to you moved away when things got rough. Some left because it was too heavy of a season. Some quit because it cost too much to stay loyal. Some people left because they didn't want to sit there and wait for it to end. It made you want to follow them. Why should I stay when everyone else is leaving was on your mind? But inside you, you didn't give up. And even though you didn't fully understand why, you chose to stay put. You didn't give up your faith when doubt tried to pull you down. You stayed in obedience, even though giving in would have been easier. When pride told you to defend yourself loudly, you stayed humble. Not giving up was not a sign of weakness. It was strength built up in silence. You prayed, but nothing changed. That says a lot on its own. Some nights you knelt down and thought your words were coming back to you. It happened that some mornings you whispered my name and nothing changed right away. You didn't know if your prayers were getting better or not, but you kept going. You kept coming to me even when you weren't getting anywhere. That persistence and prayer showed how strong your faith is. You let go even though it hurt. Do you know how strong that was? It's hard to forgive when someone has hurt you. When trust is broken, things are not easy. There was every reason for you to stay angry. There were many reasons for you to put up walls around your heart. Instead, you slowly and painfully let go of what was making you unhappy. Though the other person didn't deserve it, you chose to forgive them because you trusted me with your pain. You are different now because of that choice. Even though it was hard, you stayed loyal. When accusations were made against you, you did not act without thinking. You didn't give up your integrity when there were misunderstandings. When stress tried to make you make snap decisions, you stopped and asked me for help. Loyalty, when things are easy, is common. Few people are loyal when they are under a lot of stress. You showed that you could. You judged your worth by the mistakes you made. But I judged your worth by how loyal you were. If you thought you were worthy, you would never fail. But in my kingdom, you are only good if you stay connected to me even when you make mistakes. Being worthy means continuing to trust me after I've let you down. Being worthy means going back to prayer after having doubts. Being worthy means getting back up after you fall. How many times you got something right never made you more or less valuable. It depended on whether your heart kept turning toward me. It did happen once more. It did. You came back even though you were mad. You found me. Even when you were confused. Even when you were weak, you leaned in instead of running away. Heaven saw how hard you worked. Even though you couldn't see the celebration, there were times when your quiet obedience made people happy in ways that your eyes couldn't see. Angels were there every time you resisted temptation. Heaven saw how much you grew every time you chose patience over anger. Spiritual honor was given to you every time you gave up your will for mine. You felt like you were barely able to stay together. But from my point of view, you were getting stronger because you were tired. You thought you were weak. But being tired does not mean you failed. It means you fought battles quietly and chose faith even though you were tired. I'm going to correct a lie that has tried to take root in your mind. You're not weak. You have been picked. You are not weak. You have grown. We haven't forgotten about you. You are liked. It would have been easy for weakness to leave. If they had been weak, the anger would have stayed for good. If she had been weak, she would have chosen revenge over forgiving. If they had been weak, they would not have prayed at all. You didn't, though. You did cry. You did ask a question. Yes, you did feel stressed out at times, but those feelings didn't make you who you are. They made you more human. What made you unique was that you kept coming back to me. You didn't give up. You didn't give up when it seemed like your faith was weak. You proved your worth not by making loud claims, but by being consistent. No one praised your patience either. No one praised the silent sacrifices you made. No one saw the fights you had with yourself to stay calm when you were angry. I saw though. I saw every secret fight and every secret win. Because you didn't trust me. There were times when you thought you failed the test. But doubt won't stop devotion. You still reached for me even when you weren't sure. That reaching was important. There were times when you felt bad about being weak. But your weakness made room for my strength to come in. You learned to be humble. You learned to be kind. You learned to depend on God's grace instead of your own skills. Even when other voices tried to drown out my voice, you stayed true to it. When lies were more loud, you chose the truth. You resisted the urge to act on impulse. That kind of loyalty shows that someone is ready for more responsibility. It wasn't by impressing everyone that you proved your worth. It was by honoring me in private. I don't see worthiness as loud. I see it as steady and true. It doesn't go away. Please fully understand this, my beloved child. I do not pick based on how well they do. I make decisions based on my heart. And your heart stayed open. Even though it wasn't perfect, even though it's hurt, your heart is still soft. Even though your heart was tired, it was still willing. That's why I keep telling you, you are not weak. You have been picked. You were picked before the test started. The test showed why you were picked. I trust you, Lord, with my future. If you're giving him what's next, type it. Share this video too as this awakening grows inside you. Know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-Fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself. Jesus says, this is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected faith-filled community at the link in the description and pinned comment place where divine abundance is not just a hope but a promise built on the Word. By heading to the site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer wall, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools meant to elevate your life. If you feel called to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the light home, you can find our guided ebooks and Bibles. In the pinned comment, whether you join as a member or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits. You are about to enter your divine future. But remember, this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit Community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary where we discuss the Word daily and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry. When Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." On this platform, every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall. Share your heart. And as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit our community now. Join the family and see your heavens.